Do you feel the vibes?
Oh man, we finally got some 2K21 news. I mean, the game comes out in like 3 weeks. This is very slack. This is extremely slack from 2K, and it's honestly not that much, but it's gameplay news, which is rare to come out first. This only applies to the current generation stuff, so it's not going to be on the next gen because it's basically two different games from how it's sounding. But let's just dive into it. I've pulled 10 things from the article that I think are notable at the very least, and yeah, let's just dive into them. The first one, which I'm very happy about, is Quick Draw is no longer a badge and it's going back into the jump shot creator, which that is brilliant, so we don't have to waste our damn time using our badge points on our body release timing. It's just back in the jump shot creator, which is where it should be in the first place, and hopefully that makes things feel like my team and my league a bit more realistic, so players don't have to have the badge, they just have whatever jump shot they have. I think that was a much needed improvement. I thought it was dumb from the start when they added it last year, but it's gone. So they learned from their mistakes, which for 2K is quite rare, so we'll take the W on that one. Next thing, which is kind of wild, this is apparently Damian Lillard's idea. Apparently 2K asked his opinions, and apparently his opinions mean more than the community, but fair enough, it is what it is. 6'8" point guards is now the max height for 6'8" for point guards. Yep, you get it. I'm stumbling a little bit, but that's how it is. Apparently Lillard wanted this because he wanted to play like Penny Hardaway, which I hope that we don't have like 6'7", 6'8" point guards that are running around extremely athletic, because everyone's going to do that, and demigods will be back. But I think it's pretty cool nonetheless if it's done properly, but we'll have to wait and see if it's done properly or not. Now, our third thing, we've got another very important improvement, I think, because it's very rage-inducing. They fixed long passes. Like, you know how when you throw in a simple pass to guys wide open on the break, and your player just decides to throw it into like the third row of the grandstand, which is just, it's so annoying. It is so annoying that they fixed it. Apparently they got a skill-based solution. The only thing I can really think of is it's similar to like how you shoot in FIFA. It's got like a bar, and you got to hold the button down for as long as the pass is. That's really all I can think of that they've done there. But apparently they got a skill-based solution, so good on them for that. And number 4, which I think is pretty cool, and hopefully it increases the difficulty because we play a lot of my league over here. So hopefully, because the games are too easy, man. Like, by the time, like a month after the game comes out, you win like every game, no matter what team you're using, unless it's like completely using like the Hornets against like the Prime Warriors or something. With different sliders for different game modes, which I think will apply mainly to stuff like the difference between like My Park and Pro-Am, and even like my team already had drastically different sliders, because you can hit literally every shot in the world in that, but apparently they're refining that a bit more and changing it within each game mode, which I think is a good and a bad idea. I feel like for the my player side of things, it's going to make it inconsistent and people will get quite frustrated. But it's a good idea, I think, for the main part. Hopefully it helps us out in my league get some more competitive AI games, because they are terrible. They are terrible. Now some like main core gameplay news in terms of when you're actually playing. They've changed how the Pro Stick works. Like, instead of just holding it in any direction to shoot, you can only do it down now, which is, according to them, and it makes sense to me as well, has like expanded what they can do with the dribbling. This is what it said in the article. It said you hold it down to shoot, you hold it left or right for escape dribble moves, you hold it up for size ups, you tap it for quick dribble moves, so pretty much how it is now, and then you tap it with sprint held down to do quick moves, which I imagine just like quick little crossovers or quick hezzies or just whatever it is. But I think that should hopefully increase the skill gap. I mean, there's more controls, there's more buttons, there's more things you can do. It should, because no one should be getting dropped off by someone that's not as good as them. Simple as that. Another right stick adjustment they've done. The aiming is back, which they tried in 2K17, I'm pretty sure it was, and it was an absolute failure, and no one used it because it was terrible and pretty pointless. But they've done it a little bit different this time. Pretty much how it's going to work is it's going to sort of cancel out your timing of it for the most part, I believe. It didn't really clear up too brilliantly in the release that they released. But now it's going to focus more on your aim, So like, there's going to be like a little window which is dependent on your players' like attributes and badges and whatever, depending on the size of it. So if it's like, if you're shooting with Steph Curry, it's going to be a pretty big window. If you're shooting with JaVale McGee from 3, it's going to be tiny. And you get that in the middle. It's basically, it's a green release, and it's going to go in no matter how bad your timing is, which I think is interesting. That's going to be a difficult one to learn. I think it'll take some time, but apparently the greens are more consistent with that than just timing it. So I think it might be worth trying to learn it. And it also apparently applies to layups, which will be interesting because you don't really know what animation is going to get triggered half the time when you're going in. So we'll just have to see how it works. I don't know if it's going to work too well for layups, but for jump shooting, I think it's a W. Another little thing I think they needed to add as well. I don't play too much like online, like My Park and all that, but for my league, paint defense is going to be stronger. Apparently they've improved what they call block targeting. So imagine it's just going to be, you're not going to get those stupid animations where you've timed everything pretty much perfect from your perspective, and then your guy just like jumps out of bounds and tries to block in the completely wrong direction. So I'm hoping that they've improved on that. It seems like they have. A few other little things, they've added new motion styles for defense. So like, you know how like certain players do certain things when they bring in the ball up the court. Now it's going to be the opposite, whether it's going to be like like Patrick Beverley hitting the floor or just stuff like that. They've added that. I think that's pretty cool. It adds to the realistic feel of it all. They also added new shot types, and the notable one, which was pretty crazy to me, they added the Harden like one-legged fadeaway that you saw him doing in the preseason. He didn't really do it during the season, but that's in 2K now, so I hope it'd be pretty funny if it's really effective, but I doubt that it will be. And for the last thing that I pulled from it, they've got new size ups. So examples of that they included was like Harden's around the leg dribble, Kobe's dance, and Durant's hezzy cross. I think the Durant hezzy cross is probably going to be the best one, because you see how it works in real life. As long as they implement it properly into 2K, I think that's going to be deadly. But yeah, that's it. That's 10 things I pulled from that article. And yeah, if you're still with this part of the video, I imagine you enjoyed something, so you should like and subscribe. But yeah, peace out.